right, so Washington Free Beacon picked up this story and noticed this. So Joe Biden did a town hall with NBC this week in which supposedly the voters who were asking him questions were, quote, undecided. Well, what was noted is that at least some of those voters had previously been featured on MSNBC as essentially anti-Trump voters. Let's take a listen to a little bit of how this went down.
Welcome back, Miami, and the town hall meeting with former Vice President Joe Biden taking questions from undecided voters. Peter Gonzalez has next question.
Welcome to Miami, Mr. Vice President. I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, and I've been living in Coral Gables for the last 20 plus years.
We get 4 more years of Trump. Good luck. And good luck with the future attracting younger voters.
Let's go to Ismail Eliano, who voted for Hillary Clinton 4 years ago, but has voted Republican in the past. What's your question for Mr. Biden?
Hi, Mr. Vice President. Things that Joe Biden said during his speech that resonated with me was, what defines America as possibility.
Mateo Gomez joins us now. First-time voter who came to the U.S. from Colombia at age 2. Welcome.
Spent a lot of time in Colombia.
Thank you, Lester, for the introduction.
After watching the debate, Mateo Gomez told us he really didn't feel like he got a whole lot out of it, and it really did not do a lot to help him.
If you had to pull the trigger and vote for someone tomorrow, how would you vote?
Probably Biden in this sense. It would be one because just how unpresidential the whole entire debate was.
This is so embarrassing. They got caught red-handed. They don't even try to hide it. And you could actually, this was where I'll give the press some credit. Even Politico wrote, NBC basically just aired a 1-hour infomercial for like a nationally televised hour-long. I didn't watch it.
I watched it.
Sorry, you had to suffer through it, but like
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because the questions were all, you could tell they were all like softball
and
questions.
ABC did this too with Biden. They do it to everybody, and then they plant these people for undecided against Trump.
In fair, it was CNN who did the Anderson Cooper, where the questions were so much easier, and you can kind of tell sometimes from the voters, you're like, you're not really undecided. I can tell which way you're going. And with the CNN town hall with Biden, and now with this NBC town hall where they were caught red-handed with people who were basically like, I'm voting for Joe, and claiming that they're undecided voters. And they put them on their own airwaves saying they're voting for Joe, and then thought that no one would notice when they're the undecided voters. Anyway, with the ABC News George Stephanopoulos town hall of President Trump, the questioners were much more aggressive. And frankly, I think that's good.
I'm here for it. I love it.
If you're going to have someone who's leaning one way or the other, have them leaning against, because these people are supposed to be getting asked tough questions from people who are somewhat hostile. So I was all about the questioners at that ABC News town hall of President Trump. They should be asking aggressive questions. And I think a lot of Americans do feel legitimately angry at the failures of our government during this time. But don't just hand the other guy like the softballs with the people who are already in his camp and pretend like they're undecided hostile voters. It's so outrageous and so undermines their credibility all the way around. It's so embarrassing.
Well, first of all, it undermines their credibility. But look, this guy is up high in the polls and hasn't said a goddamn thing. We need to have somebody ask him a question. I think we all know how these debates are going to go in terms of how they ask. I think Chris Wallace was about as tough as it's ever going to get, considering who the next couple moderators
Trump saved him in that debate. He didn't have to answer any
Trump
questions.
Trump is leveling particularly good questions. Let the voters always ask the questions. Prickly voters in particular, always ask the best questions. Get some Republicans out there. Get some of those guys. I was just watching this thing from Vice News yesterday of these Minnesota Iron Range miners who have voted Democrat all their lives and are like, no, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. I would love to see one of those guys get to go and press Biden and be like, what happened to Scranton Joe? When does that happen? Never. What does MSNBC do? They go find these anti-Trump people, first to put them on their air, and then second to pretend that they're undecided. It's ludicrous, and it's really robbing us of even a semblance of fairness, of some sort of tough questioning. And you said this a couple weeks ago, which is that when Biden gets to ascend to office with a massive landslide victory and doesn't owe anything to anybody, he's not going to do anything. Because he doesn't owe anything to anyone. He just coasted to victory, right? If it happens...
And I blame, literally everyone for that. Because, I mean, I blame the left in part because everyone just instantly fell in line, was like, oh, of course we're going to vote for Joe. And no, he doesn't have to do anything. He's already got our vote without demanding anything. So, okay, so that was a missed opportunity. The media, in the limited opportunities that they've been given to press him and try to extract some kind of commitments to anything, have utterly fallen down on the job. Trump, because he has sucked so badly and been so terrible, has allowed Joe Biden to basically run on like, I'm going to wear a mask and not be a jerk on Twitter. That's the extent, by and large, of his campaign promises. Yes, they did their Build Back Better thing. We covered some of the like pro-American, made in America economic push that he's had, which I think he'll do some of. It's the closest to any concrete policy promise that he's made. But everyone is basically voting for this guy just based on the vague rhetoric of I'm going to annoy you less when I'm president and be sort of more normal. And so, yeah, when you can ascend to office without getting pressured or having to commit to anything, running on any sort of a vision, any sort of a policy commitment, when you get there, you get to just put on a mask and issue your federal government mask mandate and be like, I'm done here. I accomplished everything that I essentially promised that I would.
Right. And hey, go look at President Obama's administration. You want to see how that works out for you.
At least he made some promises. He did some things.
Yeah.
I mean, Biden has promised way less and had way less policy substance this time around. All right, we're going to have more Rising for you after this.